So welcome. Tonight I am in Johannesburg and I'm here with wonderful Courtney. Now Courtney has a passion for sound, and not only does she have a passion for sound, she also has a passion for the sea and for dolphins. So she is my wonderful co-facilitator that I use on my Fairy Godmother adventures to go to the dolphins. But tonight we're here because Courtney has just done the most incredible sound journey, and I wanted to talk to her about sound.
So a sound journey could be an assisted form of meditation, because the sound somehow just, if you do find it difficult sometimes to sit still and really still the mind, somehow through the use of sound, through the use of ancient instruments, as all the ethnic peoples of generations past have known, that to use music and to use dance, it greatly assists us just to go within and to connect to that space where we've never been separated, that space where our spirit is connected to the oneness and to everything, all peoples, to our beautiful planets, to the elements, the earth, the fire, the water, the air. So in a sound journey you may find yourself in Aboriginal Australia, and right moving at the same time with that maybe a Tibetan singing bowl. So cultures are merging and mixing, and we come to that place where we realize, my goodness, but we all share the same common essence, we all share the same human spirit, and we are all moving on our journey, our soul journey, towards enlightenment and towards bringing benefit for all beings.
So just tell us about your love affair with sound, how your journey with sound in your life started, Courtney.
From where it started, I think it started with my heartbeat. And as a child, I loved to sing while swinging in the park. I loved to sing with other children. I loved to, anything that made noises, the sounds of frogs, insects. It was just always a great fascination to me. So I suppose it really began, I had a very big spiritual awakening. Well, I think it's a spiritual awakening. I call it my heart explosion. It happened when I was 19, and in that time I met the didgeridoo. And for a woman to play the didgeridoo was quite taboo.
Yeah.
And yet I just thought, well, I'm going to move through this taboo and I'm going to explore the sound, because it touched me at such a deep place in my body, it just touched me really, really deeply. And I started to play on a creepy crawly pipe for a swimming pool.
Yeah.
And I could bend the sound and play with it. And very shortly a didgeridoo was gifted to me by a wonderful woman, and I started to play. And after that I decided to not wear shoes anymore and to just travel around beautiful South Africa playing the didgeridoo and allowing the didgeridoo to be my communication with the earth. And through that I started having a very deep love affair with the earth and the different peoples of the earth, the cultures of the earth, the sounds of the earth, and how in every culture people dance, people make music, people play instruments, and it seems to be their way of gathering communities together and for healing. And I found that when I would use my voice in absurd ways, not naturally even to try and sing tra-la-la-la, or to sing in perfect harmonies or perfect notes, just to use my voice in whichever way it wanted to, I would feel wonderful afterwards. So it was really an exploration. It's now 12 years and it just keeps growing, it just keeps growing. The accumulation of instruments, as you can see around, keep accumulating, and I meet fellow travelers on my path that love sound, and there's a lot of exchange of ideas, and the dolphins have taught me a lot about how they use sound to navigate their way, how they use sound to communicate with one another. Yeah, I have a love affair with sound.
All of them are indigenous to many different parts of the world, and many of them are very, very rich in overtones and harmonics. And that being that you may get a fundamental note, as you would in a singing bowl. When you hit a singing bowl, let me do it with that one over here. If you listen really carefully into the sound, and a lot of the sounds you cannot even hear with the human ear, you actually are really only experiencing it on a cellular level. Of that fundamental note, there are 7 notes singing simultaneously, It's a bit like our human body. We think we're only the physical body, but we're emotional, mental, spiritual, causal. We have all these bodies that are just more in subtle vibration than our physical body. And the ancient people believed that when we played with overtones and harmonics with the intention of bringing balance, peace, alignment and love into our life, it has the ability to bring our bodies back into alignment. Because we wobble, we all wobble, because we often get very caught up in the mental faculty of our being. And just by bringing back into being that balance, the sound journey has a wonderfully energizing and calming effect.
Even after 12 years of working with sound, it is still such a mystery to me how it actually does align mind, body, spirit. I think it's an ancient connection that we have with vibration, because our whole being, our whole body, all of our bodies, physical, mental, spiritual, emotional bodies, are in a vibrational state. And probably by using sound, we begin to bypass this faculty of mind that seems to separate that we are a physical being from an emotional being, from a spiritual being, that we separate from one another, where in essence all animals and all primal peoples are communicating through sound, because it bypasses the need of logic and the need to know. So it is in essence a universal language. So in a sound journey context, it surprises me every time what happens to people when they lie down, they connect with their breath, and they simply allow the sound to move them. And they are transported back to childhood memories. They have a vivid connection with their vision and their dreams and their intuition, their imagination. Perhaps it's just allowing us to access our subconscious, which is the dimension in which we're connected to everything all the time anyway. We just forget. So maybe by visiting this subconscious through the use of overtone instruments in particular, the sounds of the didgeridoo, the sounds of overtone singing, the sounds of the singing bowls that are very rich in harmonics, it just seems to effortlessly open up the door for us to make this connection to our spirit.
And my last question for you, Courtney, is I want to know, how can people use sound in their day-to-day lives? So what can they do? What are the basic tips that they can use to actually use sound to align, to heal the body, to use the vibration?
A nice starting point is even to honor silence, because we are so bombarded often with very disharmonious, unharmonious, static sound. We're bombarded with sound vibration all the time, even if it's sound vibration that we can't hear. The cell phone towers, the computer that you're sitting at, it's all emitting vibration all the time. And very seldom do we honor that space of sacred silence. And it's from that pool that all sound is birthed. So maybe just by finding a few moments to find the silence, we can then begin to hear, even if it's just our heartbeat or our own inner song. You can use your voice. You can use your voice to say very kind words, is already beginning to use sound in a very positive way for healing and transformation in your physical body, as opposed to using sound in an aggressive way, with aggressive words, with angry words. Or you can even sing or hum. Humming is wonderful. The moment you begin to use your voice, it's like you are beginning to balance all organs in your body. And you don't have to know how to sing. It can just be and not even a song that you've maybe heard before. It can just be something that is just birthed spontaneously. Or even if it is Happy Birthday or your favorite song on the radio. I believe everybody should be singing all the time. But to use our voice in a conscious way, I'd say it's one of the most powerful modalities and ways we could use sound.
So thank you so much for letting me interview you. Thank you so much for sharing magic with all of us here. And thank you so much for the powerful work that you do in the world. You are healing people, you are transforming lives. It is such a pleasure to work with you, it's such a pleasure to know you.
Donna, ditto!
Ding, ding.